Ohio State. Both these teams come in at 1-1, so it's an important swing game.
Very competitive conference with two teams, Indiana and Northwestern, ranked in the top 25. You cannot afford to lose that second game early in the season if you want to remain in contention in the Big Ten.
Penn State's going to need some goals. How do they get some goals, Richard?
They've not gotten very many goals out of their forwards. They rely heavily on the midfield, especially this man, sophomore captain Owen Griffith. He goes from end to end, covers most of the midfield for Bob Warming's team.
Meanwhile, for Michigan, there's always one name in that starting lineup.
71 straight times, 72 tonight. Latif Alashe has been a starter for Michigan. He's a very brilliant player at times, but he needs to be a lot more consistent.
Both these teams looking to go 2-1. It's Michigan, it's Penn State, and it's around the corner right here on the Big Ten Network.
Stupid, slow, dirty PC.
You know, you really should clean it up and speed it up at mycleanpc.com.
Is your computer running slow? What if you could fix it while you were online? Now you can. Just go to mycleanpc.com for your free diagnosis.
Championship game, and we are underway here in Ann Arbor. Penn State in the blue jerseys, the home team Michigan Wolverines in all white. And you saw a moment ago Kofi Opare with that broken nose with the mask on. He's also dealing with the fact that he had appendicitis, had his appendix removed, and everybody's going to be bundled up in Ann Arbor. It's a chilly night, 50 degrees. That's going to go down, Richard.
I think it is, but these two teams are used to it. They're not going to feel it at all out there. Dean, you talk about Kofi Opare, biggest, strongest guy in the field. He's really struggled with those injuries thus far in the season. He's key to the Michigan defense.
He's teamed back there with Brian Klemzak. That big goal coming from the player that replaced Alashe, Jack Brown, with that thrilling double overtime goal against the Ohio State Buckeyes, getting it by Alex Ivanoff, the goalkeeper for Ohio State. Here is Min Vu. He lit up this field at the Big Ten tournament last year. Vu. And if you remember, Richard, he actually scored the first goal against Northwestern before they came back and beat Penn State.
Min Vu depends a lot on being confident. When he's confident and feels good about himself, he really creates a lot of energy, and Bob Warming's worked with him. He's injured in the spring, didn't play so much. Just coming back into form, he can be very dangerous on the flank.
Min Vu sent in, looking to find Hassani Sinclair. And Grinwis goes down. Adam Grinwis, the sophomore. Very acrobatic.
Well, he had to be acrobatic. This ball comes out at the second ball at the top of the box, where a lot of these come in. A great volley by Grant Warming, just deflected over the bar by Grinwis.
Corner kick now for Penn State. On the other side, Vu again, sent in. Grinwis punches it out. And the acrobatic Grinwis has been key early on here at Michigan.
Adam Grinwis is a great shot saver. He's worked hard on developing his control of the box. And this is a good example of the improvement that he's made under Johanno Bondo, his goalkeeper trainer.
Throw in there for Akil Howard, number 16. A late addition to the starting lineup for Bob Warming. Part of that great Shattuck St. Mary's program up in Minnesota. Last year, actually, he spent the year over in England and is now back. Actually has played with the youth national teams for St. Vincent and the Grenadines as well.
Very athletic player. He's played some up front, but Bob Warming wants to get a little more athletic ability and pace in the wide fullback position.
Wolverton plays in the back. He's got Ford and Seiler back there. Brian Ford, one of those Penn State players you feel like has been there forever.
Leads Penn State blue and white. Brian Ford, great energy guy. He played outside back, played center back. He's captain, great leader, loves representing the colors of Penn State.
Played every minute for Bob Warming. Quick throw in. And Pereira is so quick with the ball. He'll get it out wide. Sent back across. Michigan. Michigan on top 1-0. TJ Roan with the goal.
We just mentioned that man from South Florida, the transfer. This is really dynamic work. Pereira plays it ball back outside. It's crossed in, and raking the run to the near post is TJ Roan to meet that cross coming in from the outside. Terrific effort by TJ Roan, converting the cross coming in from the outside.
Second go of the campaign coming from the University of South Florida. There are a ton of transfers on the field for both teams. Penn State starts 6 transferred players, and then you've got Cardona, another transfer that leads the team in goals that'll be coming off the bench.
Well, that was a great effort. Colin McAtee getting in that cross, and a great run by Roan. All the action Penn State early on, and then a quick counter by Michigan. Not always the amount of possession you have, but what you do with your possessions, and TJ Roan is the man to convert the cross from McAtee.
Throw in for Michigan. There's Alashe, as Richard Broad pointed out, making his 72nd consecutive start for Michigan. A mainstay for the man who built this program, Steve Burns, as well. BTN goes where you want, when you want it, with BTN to Go, presented by Auto Owners Insurance. Watch live soccer and BTN original programming on your computer, tablet, or smartphone. BTN to Go is available at no extra charge to subscribers who receive BTN through their cable, satellite, or participating video providers. To learn more, visit btntogo.com. So Michigan on top 1-0. We mentioned they've won the last 3 games against this Penn State Nittany Lions team. And boy, we talked about that momentum, that thrilling victory over the Ohio State Buckeyes. The fans stormed the field, Richard, and they just keep it going right now.
One of the things when you take over a program, you've got to get the players to believe and buy in. And with wins like that over Ohio State and starting off like this, the players are going to start to believe in Shaka Daly and his system.
Klemzak, Alashe, Opari, all part of that team. And Zeke Harris with that thrilling goal from last year's game at Penn State. He is the right back, looking for a little bit more consistency out of number 11.
Number 11 is very good in the attack, not so good always on the defensive end. Took a shot there from Brian Forg, and he's back up. Very good athlete, Zeke Harris.
There's Colin McAtee, as you said. He was involved on that goal, and he is a guy that Shaka Daly is really counting on the right side of the attack.
Well, he wasn't even sure he's going to start him today. That's why I hesitated in identifying him, but McAtee certainly deserves to start. That was a brilliant cross. He got in, well finished by Rowan.
Martin Seiler, number 22, plays it up top to Hassani Sinclair. Minvu loves to dial up with that left foot. We saw what he can do on those corners. Sent back across, and this one from Owen Griffith, a sophomore captain. You don't see that every day.
You don't see many with the leadership of Owen Griffith. He can get up into the attack, get back down on the defensive end, and he's had to. He and Barone have had to do a lot of work coming forward. They tested Grinwis a little bit thus far, but Penn State has not had the productivity out of their forwards like you see in Michigan, and that's the difference thus far.
Grinwis, the PDL goalkeeper of the year. It was important for him to get that experience as well. A pretty rough season a year ago, and a player that Shaka Daly's looking for even more leadership out of. Sinclair dancing around a little bit. Opari was over there to help out. Akil Howard. Alashe trying to find Pereira. Stepping in, Penn State. Sinclair. It's got Marvin Legister in the box. And Penn State now with their 3rd corner kick early.
This is a good trend for Penn State. Bob Warming's tactics were to come out and get after Michigan, get the game, get the ball under control, knock it around on the ground. Hassani Sinclair, another transfer from South Florida, this time to Penn State. Maybe he can equalize, and 2 South Florida transfers will score for each of the 2 teams.
Min Vu with his right. Nick Lewin sent back in, and Grinwis has it. Grinwis is so quick sliding his feet.
Very, very good shot saver. His area he has to improve on the most is controlling the box. He's a good athlete. He's been working hard on getting him to be more commanding on the defense and organizing his defense and coming out better.
Lewin. That's James Murphy from England. Actually played, though, for the Ireland youth national team. And Murphy there with a little click. Luke Colson was another player that came over from England, but he left the program to turn pro. That was a big loss. He started the opener for the Wolverines.
Shaka Daly's trying to bring in a higher standard of player. Michigan's had some very good players over the years, people like Michael Halliday and Knox Cameron, players like that, but not quite enough. Shaka Daly feels he needs to get more depth and quality in the program.
Ooh, they are tussling right outside the 18, and it looks like Kofi Opare is going to get called for a foul. And now Penn State, right at the top of the 18, will have a extremely dangerous free kick.
Well, they will this time, right above the box. A little bit of contact. It's hard to tell. Maybe Opare looks so intimidating with a mask. That may have been why they called the foul on him. But Grinwis is a great shot saver, and he may have to make a good save here. But this is only about 20 yards out.
Opare, who had his appendix removed not even a month ago, back on the field with a broken nose as well. A true Michigan warrior. Minvu over the ball. Marvin Legister also looks interested.
Looks like Vu will try to take with his right foot and bend it.
And he does. Boy, and it almost snuck in as Penn State almost equalized, Richard Broad.
Talk about Grinwis taking control. Here's a ball bent around the wall, and a little bit of organizational problems. And Adam Grinwis very upset with McAtee because I think he came out of the wall and left a gap in there that Grinwis was having to cover. That's why he reacted so slowly to get to the post.
It was like he didn't see it, in fact.
Well, it's very important, that goalkeeper organization. That was a dangerous chance. Unfortunately for Michigan, the ball went wide on the shot by Minvu.
TJ Roan already on the board for the Michigan Wolverines. The assist to McAtee. And Roan with his second goal of the season. The transfer from University of South Florida. Sinclair. The tackle by Lewin, cleaned up by Minvu. Minvu will cross it with the right. Sent out by Arnone, and Tyler Arnone, Shaka Daly said, probably the most consistent player so far for Michigan, Richard.
In his career early on under Steve Burns, he was employed as more of an attacking role, and he has good attacking skills, but Shaka Daly wants Tyler Arnone to be involved and run the show, so he's playing a little bit deeper. It allows some of the other players like Pereira and Lachey to get forward in the attack. Arnone has been the most consistent player they've had thus far this season.
Good idea on the diagonal ball. Here's Shane Campbell. He's come forward, looking for Grant Warming, the son of Bob Warming. Starred in Nebraska while Bob Warming was doing his second stint at Creighton. Now in his third year at Penn State, he had that great first year. And here's the deal, though. Penn State has been in the last 3 Big Ten tournament championship games, including the last 2 under Coach Warming.
Bob Warming is a guy that deals with all aspects of the program. He's got the long-term view. He would not have left Creighton unless he really thought there was something special. Same as Shaka Daly. Shaka Daly left his alma mater to take over at Michigan. Bob Warming left the program that he built not once but twice to come here to Penn State. Obviously, both these gentlemen think they're in special programs.
Griffith taken down. Lachey on that foul, and Kofi Opare on the earlier foul. And that's one of the things that Shaka Daly wants this Michigan team to work on. Sometimes a little bit lack of concentration will hurt them, Richard.
You know, Dean, sometimes you can get a goal almost too early, and maybe this is a worry with Michigan. We got a goal, we have to let up just a little bit. And Penn State, if you do that against Penn State, you're going to be in trouble.
McAtee with a good ball to Roan. It worked once before. Roan set back across with his left. Pretty good ball, but headed out of there by Martin Seiler. Lachey runs into Legister, and now a handball.
Bob Warming thinks that should be a yellow card on Alashe, and it very well could have been. Thus far in the game, we talked about Latif Alashe and his ability to be dominant in the game. But right now, he's being outworked in the midfield by Griffith and by Barone. He needs to get some more help, and he needs to stop doing things like that, or he's going to pick up a yellow card.
Forg surveys, bombs it to Vu. Lewin and Vu go shoulder to shoulder. Now Griffith will clean it up. Griffith and this man right here, Jacob Barone, the senior midfielder from California. Another one of those transfers. He played at UC Davis. Harris. This may sneak all the way through. And Martin Seiler there in time. Here's Griffith. Legister's got Vu on his right. Sinclair up top. He'll choose Vu. Vu marked by Lewin. Vu will try to break you down. He can shoot with both feet. Little step over. Keeping it on the right for now. Comes back to Campbell. Sent across looking for Legister. Barone, then Griffith. Legister keeping it alive. Penn State showing that Nittany Lion pride at the moment under Bob Warming. Good tackle by Zeke Harris, and clean, gets all ball. Trying to find Pereira. Pound for pound, Pereira might be the most skillful player on the field. That one hurt right there. As Akio Howard, you could hear the thug as he runs into McAtee.
I'm surprised there's not a foul called that time on McAtee. This game is becoming very, very physical. Look at it again. Again, Akio Howard coming forward, and McAtee, well, he gets the ball, but he sure didn't look like he minded running into Howard that time.
Howard back up. Here's Pereira talking about his skill just moments ago.
Very, very quick, and he's a good complement to Alashe. When those two start combining, Michigan is very dangerous in the attack.
Harris looks for Alashe. Lewin. Good ball to McAtee. McAtee down near the end line. McAtee stays with it. Sent back across, looking for a white jersey. Lewin, who started this, driven right back in. Almost snuck by Wolverton.
So many times the ball goes in, and there's a battle in front of the goal, and it comes back out. And Nick Lewin this time taking advantage of great work by McAtee, who brings it all the way back. And this is a good effort by Lewin. Keeps the shot down and goes just wide of the post.
Shaka Daly, the head coach of the Michigan Wolverines, has to like what he's seeing out of Michigan.
He does, and he likes that man, Nick Lewin, who was a midfielder last year, moved to the left back position, steady, consistent. You write Nick Lewin's name in the lineup and worry about the other 10 positions.
Yeah, he said his most consistent defender. And he's back there with two guys that were a key part of Michigan's unbelievable run just 2 years ago to the Final Four in Brian Klemzak and Kofi Opari.
Kofi Opari, the physical nature. Brian Klemzak, the smart, intelligent leader of the defense.
Klemzak. Sinclair will try to win it. There's Zeke Harris again. His defending has been good so far. Quick ball from Griffith. Knew Campbell was going to be there, just played it into space. Campbell tried to play it into his own space, but just a little too strong.
Dean, you made an interesting point. Zeke Harris's defending's been good so far. That's what they need out of Zeke Harris. He's a great athlete. Get up and down the field, get in the attack. He wasn't starting until they lost Dylan Mencia to an injury. He's been in at the right back. He's a superb athlete. If he can do the defensive job, Michigan is going to be tough to score on.
It's been pretty much end-to-end so far. Exciting Big Ten soccer, and we talked about how cold it was. I think the players love this weather.
They're not cold out there. It's the guys on the bench that are a little bit tight, and it's going to be important for those players to get warm as they get into a game like this. But those players, at least they're concerned now, Dean, is the cold.
Fans bundling up. The players are bundled up as well at this beautiful Michigan soccer complex. One of the best places to watch a soccer game in the country, Richard.
It is a splendid facility. Done a wonderful job here. Everything done with class, as they do with every athletic program at the University of Michigan.
Take a look at it here in Ann Arbor. fantastic, and they've done such a good job actually in this last year taking care of some irrigation issues as well. The field is just beautiful. Wolverines going far post. Wolverton is there. And Andrew Wolverton, tough offseason. Really, they didn't know what was wrong with his hip, his labrum. They couldn't quite figure it out. And he's just now coming back into the form that he showed last year with 12 shutouts on a 9-win team.
Remarkable record. And they have another good goalkeeper in Emmanuel Martin, who started most of the games. They started Wolverton tonight because they felt balls were going to be flighted in the box by Michigan. And that's what happened. As we're looking at Emmanuel Martin, he isn't happy to be in the gold over there. He'd rather be out in the field. But again, with Wolverton, he's very good in the air. He's 6'5", dominant in the air. But what Michigan did on that ball, McAtee drove it low, and the run was made by Ruin to the near post before Wolverton had cut it off.
Good trap by Forg. Barone, as he always does, looks for Griffiths. Those two, Barone and Griffiths, are on a string. Sinclair, marked by Opare. Sinclair will shoot. Grinwis cut down the angle. Opare pushed him outside. We mentioned this is a swing game in the Big Ten. As we take a look at the standings, Todd Yeagley and Tim Lenahan have Indiana Northwestern on top.
Well, those two men have done great jobs with those programs. Todd taking over from his dad, the legendary Jerry Yeagley, and Tim Lenahan taking over 10 years ago, 11 years ago, just turning a program that was nowhere into a national contender.
Barone quickly to Vu. Sinclair's onside this time. There's no way they can put the flag up. Sinclair's got Legister. He's got Vu. Vu on his right foot takes the shot, but right to Grinwis.
Min Vu is really putting his stamp on the game. He's playing with that confidence that Bob Warming has been concerned with. He keeps playing like this, he's going to create even more chances for Legister and Sinclair.
Bob Warming wanted the foul there, but they went ahead and played advantage as Owen Griffiths was able to win it. McAtee, quick touch to Harris. Harris somehow gets it back to McAtee. Now a little bit of a cynical good job from Bob Warming.
Look at this foul. Yeah, it went over the end line. Boss to be all the way over the end line. McAtee knew it, and referee tells him to just carry on. The call was correct. Dean, even though Michigan's up in front, Penn State has to like the way this game's going. Bob Warming wanted his team to be able to get the ball, put it on the ground, and thus far their midfield has really been dominant. Everything that Michigan's had has come by putting the ball forward quickly. They've had no control to speak of in the midfield, and Barone and Griffith and Min Vu and Grant Warming have controlled things for Bob Warming.
Stopping at 23.
They call him Smiling Bob Warming's got one of the best demeanors you will ever find in anyone.
Highly positive guy, really. Just have known Bob for a long, long time, and everywhere he's been uplifting for the program. He thinks not just about the team itself, but building the program, getting alumni involved, getting community involved. Great spokesman for the game.
Who's set in? Headed out by Michigan. Keel Howard keeps it alive. Howard, as we said last year, enrolled at Richmond, the American International University in London, in a program that combines the study in the field of international business and sports. Another great student athlete at Penn State.
Well, he's been a forward, and he likes to get forward for that, but I'd say a shot like that from 45 yards, a bit ambitious. He's focused on the defensive end rather than those kind of shots.
Zeke Harris.
That situation there is what Bob Warming has to be concerned about. Gets forward, get out of position, not in a position to play the ball, gives up a throw in. Needs to concern himself with his defensive responsibilities first and foremost.
Good look at Howard. Zeke Harris, so strong. Murphy checks back to win it back to Lewin. Now Tyler Arnone going backwards to go forwards at the moment. Gets it back out to Lewin. Lewin over the top into space looking for Murphy. The speedy Englishman. And Seiler cleans it up.
That's always a good match. The speedy Englishman going against the stout German and Martin Seiler down in that corner. Seiler's been a real welcome addition to Penn State, coming out of Tyler Community College, where he won 2 national championships.
41-0-1 for the Apaches. Pereira using Murphy. Murphy looks up. Far post is McAtee. Back across and cleared off the line by Ford. They are looking for McAtee, and they are finding. Speaking of McAtee, he was key on the only goal so far. He took it from Pereira, he looked up, and TJ Roan has Michigan on top, 1-0.
I'm launching a hotspot. You ready?
Share everything by turning your smartphone into a mobile hotspot for up to 8 Wi-Fi enabled devices at no extra charge, like the new Droid Razr M by Motorola, only $99.99.
Monday, Rick, Rack, and Timmy D weigh in on the hottest topics around the conference as only they can.
He was special, and I appreciate you picking on me for that.
The Big Ten Pulse, presented by Micro Essentials, Monday on BTN. Soccer fans, can't contain your excitement for the season? Then the Big Ten Digital Network is your outlet. Get extra games, exclusive behind-the-scenes videos, and more, all on your computer. Plug into the game. Sign up now at video.btn.com.
Anderson Silva. That is the greatest fighter of all time. The American Psycho. Potter is really on fire. A front kick to the face. Potter looking to choke him out. We are ready to see an upset in the making. Unbelievable. They are set to go to battle. Anderson Silva. Stephen Potter.
On IFC Channel 559, it's all the movie, all the time.
How about that?
Every night starting at 8.
Don't be late.
It's the movies you love.
Groovy.
With all the good parts left in.
Kinda makes me feel like river dancing.
We love you long time.
Feel it.
Oh, yeah.
What we can't show you here, we can show you here. Woo! It's all the movie, all the time.
That's what I'm talking about.
IFC Channel 559.
Sir, yes, sir.
Right after soccer, it's a special presentation of the season premiere of The Journey, Big Ten Football 2012. Coverage starts right after our match on BTN. A good look at Michigan's Denard Robinson, the Buckeyes' John Simon, plus Journey-style game highlights from Penn State, Illinois, and Ohio State, Michigan State. The Journey on the Big Ten Network. And TJ Roan is making the Michigan Wolverines happy with the #1 BTN finger up. And Michigan almost got another one right before that break.
Very similar to the way they scored the first goal. Ball crossed in from the side by Murphy, and it's this time McAtee gets in after the ball at the far post. Bad mistake by Wolverton, cleared off the line by Brian Ford. And Wolverton badly beat on that, and a great effort by the captain, Brian Ford. Ensures that Penn State isn't down by 2.
Colin McAtee went to Torrey Pines High School out in Phil Mickelson country out there. I don't know if he likes this weather that much, but looks fantastic tonight for the Wolverines.
You're not going to get Lefty out here. He's out on some nice course, but I think Colin McAtee's having a grand time setting up a goal and almost getting another one. He created for that man, TJ Roan, who converted early on to put Michigan on top.
12 goals this season, second fewest in the Big Ten. Of course, Penn State only has 13 goals on the season.
But we've had a lot of action thus far, Dean. It's not from lack of effort. They pushed players forward. They played exciting soccer, getting into the attack. 1-0. We could see some more goals if this keeps up.
Smiling Bob. As the Hail to the Victor fight song rolls on here at the wonderful Michigan Soccer Complex. Zeke Harris looking for Roan. Chested down to McAtee. Couldn't find Alashe as Barone cleans it up. Look at Lewin clean it there. Up top to Sinclair. Sent back across. Legister's there, he'll stay with it. Looked like he was trying to find Grant Warming. Coming into the game now is Malcolm Miller.
Colin, go central. Centrally now, centrally.
Wolverines, Pereira. Number 20, Drew Klingenberg, is come into the game for the Penn State Nittany Lions. Richard, what do you like about him?
He's gone outside for Minvu. I thought had a pretty productive first 20-25 minutes. And Klingenberg's a very, very classic winger. Small, very quick. He can take people on. Bob Warming is really happy with his effort the last couple games.
Dean Linke, along with Richard Broad here at the Michigan Soccer Complex. Delighted to be with you. Big Ten men's soccer under the lights in Ann Arbor. Wisconsin is at Indiana tonight. Michigan State is at Ohio State tomorrow. And then on Tuesday, the Northwestern Wildcats welcome in the Fighting Irish of Notre Dame in a key non-conference matchup.
If you like soccer, the Big Ten is a place to be this week.
Barone. Alashe able to win it over Owen Griffith. Fabio Pereira. McAtee. Shane Campbell deflected that away.
Shane Campbell deflected away from the left side. Bob Warming probably felt that Akil Howard getting forward a little bit too much. They brought Campbell to the left side as they brought on Daniel Burnham to the right back position. Burnham's played almost every position at Penn State except goalkeeper since he's been in this program. He's filling in at right back. He's been a midfielder and a forward. Very valuable man for Bob Warming's team.
Alashe looking for some white jerseys. Zeke Harris, they love pushing him forward, making him part of the attack. Barone took that one. McAtee. McAtee around Campbell. Look at McAtee go. He had more space than that, Richard. He had all that real estate because Campbell went down. He should have dribbled in.
Well, he gave a pretty good cross, and this time Andrew Wolverton came out and made the save. But we've got Jacob Barone down. He is one guy that's very unhappy to see Zeke Harris coming forward, especially he does this. Plants that ball in a very bad spot for Jacob Barone.
Big Ten soccer fans, make sure to check out the BTN Soccer Report, our weekly web show hosted by Kevin Egan on BTN.com with previews, interviews, and breakdowns of the conference's beautiful game. You can also follow on Twitter at BTN Soccer Report. Andrew Wolverton has been busy for the Penn State Nittany Lions. One got by him and the other one, how about that deep breath he took when Ford cleared it off the line? You could just see his cheeks full of air.
Well, I think that's one save you have to give to Brian Ford. That was a terrific effort by him. Wolverton is big and strong. He needs to collect those balls in the air. And fortunately for Penn State, looks like Jacob Barone's going to be able to continue, but that's not a pleasant feeling that he's going through right now.
Barone, who started and played in all 22 games last year, 1 goal and 1 assist. He's going to be knotted up for a little while.
Well, the thing about Jacob Barone is he's so steady and solid. Bob Warming was mentioning he has the second highest completion percentage, I believe, on the team. He almost always connects to a teammate, allowing Penn State to keep possession, which is what Bob Warming is stressing.
Sinclair. Oh, he got the whistle there. Went down pretty lightly. Kofi Opari, I think, has got a legitimate beat. Quickly played, though. Griffith back across. Does he earn a corner kick? He does not.
Well, that's what we talk about Owen Griffith, and he got nicked a little bit now. He's down holding his ankle, and within a space of about 30, 40 seconds, the heart and soul of Penn State. Both Barone and Griffith have gone down. They need both those players on. They rarely come out of games for Penn State.
Bob Warming is going to let Owen Griffith run it off. One nothing Michigan. Grinwis last year wore that headgear. You couldn't see that bright orange hair. Lewin. Klingenberg all over him. And if you recognize that name, Klingenberg, his sister Megan starred at the University of North Carolina and part of the USA women's pool. Pretty talented soccer family.
Good genes there, and Bob Warming is very happy to have Megan's brother. Bob Warming describes Klingenberg as one of the most pure wingers he's ever coached. Very, very dangerous, taking players on, gives him a lot of energy and spark coming off the bench. He's going to be a starter before long.
Alashe.
Michigan is giving, at this point, way too much ground, too much possession for Penn State. Penn State wants to possess it. They're able to do that. They're going to keep creating chances, and how much longer can Grinwis keep the ball out of the net?
Throw in. Opari gets his head on it. Griffith sent back across. Pretty good ball. Dangerous. Klemzak. He was trying to head it. Almost looked like he was trying to get it back to Grinwis. That is messing with fire right there. McAtee will stay with it.
McAtee very fortunate not to get a foul. He was all over Shane Campbell in this corner. Take a look at this scramble. The ball's flighted in. You just can't keep leaving the box. So I think it was Klemzak trying to head it. I think he's trying to get it out. Campbell heads it, gets it, kicks it right up straight in the air.
I have to ask him about that after the game, because it looked like he thought Grinwis was going to be there, just the way he turned his head.
It's a little dicey to do it in the middle of all that traffic.
Are you kidding me? Seiler. Drops a bomb over to Klingenberg. Sent back across for Penn State. Daniel Burnham is into the game now, and Burnham, they thought about starting him in the back line, and he's now come on wearing the number 3 jersey for Penn State.
Now in at that right back position, but that's what you get when you have a converted attacker playing in the back. He can come forward and create problems too. Penn State is really taking over this game. Haven't been able to get on the scoreboard yet, but if they keep the pressure on, it's just a matter of time.
Shane Campbell with the long throw. He was looking for Owen Griffith. And Fabio Pereira doing the defensive work for Shaka Daly.
He needs to do more of that. He's improved immensely, Pereira, as a defensive presence under Shaka Daly's leadership.
Seiler just beating Roan to the ball, plays it to Ford. Ford bombs it looking for Sinclair. Warming, quick touch. And Warming has now moved more centrally for the Nittany Lions. Klingenberg. Another good tackle by Lewin. Alashe directing traffic. Alashe always seems to look right. Thought about getting it to Harris first. Went through Arnone. Quick counter, Legister. Big and strong is Legister from London, England. Roan seems to be better now. Nice ball to Klingenberg. Klingenberg marked by Lewin. Good step over. He puts it on his left. Opari Now Zeke Harris has plenty of time. There, you could tell they were communicating back there.
They were, but that's what Klingenberg does. He can beat people and create a lot of problems. That's what Bob Warming has him in the game. To take those defenders on. Nick Lewin has his hands full with Drew Klingenberg.
Burnham over in front of the Michigan fans. As already Penn State with 11 shots compared to 15.1 per game average. They are going to bust through that. Roan. Good tackle straight up by Roan. Seiler, who did the defensive work to slow down the goal scorer, Roan. Klemzak, clever ball to find Arnone. And Arnone will get the whistle. Legister showing some emotion.
Well, he's done a good job, Marvin Legister. Big, powerful, physical presence, gives that element of the game. But I would be looking now for possibly some substitutes up front for Penn State. They've had most of the game. Their forwards are just not converting the chances. This has been a problem. Bob Warming, since he's come to State College, has been looking for that one guy who he can look to go in the attack. And Julian Cardona, I wouldn't be surprised to see him come on. He's the leading scorer on the team, and maybe he can come in and nick one in the last 10 minutes of the half.
Off the head of Ford. Throw in for Michigan as Bob Warming looking to get some more players in.
One of them is Cardona. The other one is the freshman Kelton Cheney.
So Cardona on Richard Broad's cue will come into the game.
No, I would have spoken to you about that if that was you. Because that wasn't very good sportsmanship, was it? And there's no reason.
Ferreira. All right, here they come. The substitutes, Julian Cardona, number 17, as Richard pointed out, 5 goals and 1 assist on the season, and Cheney's right behind them with 2 goals. They've scored 13. They're bringing 7 of them onto the field right now.
Well, this is a change in pace. You've had 2 strong physical players in Sinclair and Legister in the up front. Now you add a little more speed, a little more experience in the person of Cardona. Let's see if this provides the answer for the Nittany Lions.
Cardona, the transfer from Butler. And here's Cheney, my bad, Cheney. Barone. Campbell with a pretty clever ball. Cheney trying to stay with it. Kelton Cheney continues to battle, and then Grinris will clean it up.
Well, that ball is flighted in by Campbell, sort of just anybody can get it. You talk about a 50-50 ball and a second ball. That was like a third, a fourth, a fifth ball. It's battling around, and unfortunately for Penn State, they're trying to go through the biggest man in the park, Kofi Apari, and Grinris pounces on that free ball to solve the problem.
Warming pushed from behind by McAtee. Another free kick for Penn State.
Just giving away way too many free kicks. Colin McAtee had some good moments early on, created a goal, but since that time he's mostly been fouling, and they can't just constantly give a team as good as Penn State restarts. They're not that strong out of the run of play, but they can hurt you on restarts if you keep giving them so many.
Campbell back to Ford, intercepted by Pereira. Goes right side to TJ Roan, too ambitious though. He also had Alashe making the run right down the spine of the field.
You mentioned that man, Latif Alashe. He's been very, very quiet. He has to pick up his game. We talked about it at the beginning of the show. He's got to be brilliant. He's got to be dominant. They need more out of Alashe because Penn State is just dominating the midfield now.
Cheney and Cardona. Warming kept alive. Klingenberg is there. What a tackle by Kofi Opare.
Mask or not, he saw well enough to get to that play. Great play by Opare, and almost a great effort by, look at the effort by Warming. He just keeps playing and playing. Klingenberg comes in. He's not going to lose that battle against big number 6.
Late in the midfield, Michigan comes in with a 3-5 record, 1-1 in the Big Ten. Cardona taken down as Penn State comes in with a 6-3-1 record, and once again an excellent free kick opportunity for the visitors.
Take a look at this, and this is Cardona who's really pushing Lewin, and then Lewin drags Cardona down. I thought it was an initial push on Julian Cardona, and Shaka Daly does too.
I agree with you, Richard. That's the second time I'm not so sure about. Really, they've had 3 calls for fouls and restarts around the 18-yard box that have been sort of suspect.
Julian Cardona's a very physical player as well, and he was behind Lewin. Looked like he had his arm on Lewin's back. Lewin has to fight him off, and he takes him down. It's another dangerous situation out here. Daniel Burnham on the ball. He'll probably put that ball to the far post rather than shoot directly.
Burnham keeps it down on the ground. Grinwis is caught off guard, and Grinwis with a great save. How does Cheney not finish it right there? He got no mustard on the ball at all.
You're not going to get many better chances than this. It's good strategy. Burnham drives it in on the ground. It fools the defense. Initial save by Grinwis, and Cheney just has to make that one. Second effort by Grinwis, and boy, that's how you get minutes and get on the field. Kelton Cheney has to convert that one.
File that play away, and that is a game changer. Grinwis, so athletic to come back and save that.
Well, his first save was very good off the ball driven in by Burnham, because I think he expected to go to the far post, and then the ball comes free and Cheney has to do it. Really good idea by Burnham playing in near post. Grinwis is fooled. The ball should be finished by Cheney. Great effort by Harrison. It's Grinwis who pulls it off the line, saves the Wolverines once again.
Ford. Grinwis coming into the game now for Michigan. The hero of the game against the Ohio State Buckeyes, Jack Brown. How about this one in double overtime?
This is pretty special by the freshman, and goalkeeper's fooled on it. Comes out. A challenge for that ball in the area, and it goes straight on through. Jack Brown gets the goal.
And Jack Brown is on the field now as the Wolverines fans rush the field after that thrilling win over Ohio State. And there he is, the hero against the Buckeyes. Cardona. Win the ball and go, Bob Warming style. Lewin closes quickly on Klingenberg. Pereira will use Lewin again. Chested perfectly by Seiler, and there's the Barone-Owen Griffith combination. Cardona trying to thread the needle to Cheney. Cheney wants another opportunity, keeps this one down, and Grinwis, who has been outstanding, acrobatic, agile, all of those words.
He's had to be, because Penn State has controlled the midfield. Once again, playing that ball in for Kelton Cheney. Doesn't have a good angle. Grinwis smothers it. Dean, you mentioned Jack Brown coming in the game. He was a defender. He came on for Kofi Abari in that game against Ohio State and got the goal from defensive position. He's in the midfield now. It's because Alashe and the other players in the midfield have not gotten enough of the ball. So what Shaka Daly is doing now is trying to assert control of this game. He wants to get into halftime and preserve that lead, so he's bringing a defender into the defensive midfield and hoping that he can keep Penn State off the board for the next 4 minutes and then regroup at halftime. Important 5 minutes for Brown to play in the defensive part of midfield.
Good stuff, Richard Broad, as some tactical moves by both teams playing out here. Both teams 1-1 in the Big Ten Conference. Right in the middle of it. Murphy battling. Pereira turns, runs right into a wall named Ford. Griffith to Burnham. Now Seiler. Campbell is starting to come forward on the left side. They'll keep it over on the right at the moment. Cardona. 3 white jerseys around, and he'll touch it right back to Michigan. Murphy has now moved up to center forward. And he is held. Michigan gets the whistle.
A very solid player, Murphy's played mostly out wide for the Wolverines, but he can come up top, and occasionally they go with two forwards. In this particular case, they moved Murphy up top, taken Roan out of the game. So we look at Owen Griffith coming back. He's been dominant in the midfield, and Penn State has had such control of the midfield. The midfield is not where games are won or lost, but it's where it's controlled, and Penn State has controlled this game. They just need to get some way to get on the board.
Thought Pereira was going to put one on a dime. Instead, he'll go out wide to Zeke Harris. It's Warming to close it down. Pereira's back on it. Pereira looks up, sent back across, trying to find Murphy. And they'll say it went off of Murphy.
You see Bob Warming very much into the game. A good effort by Martin Seiler. It's probably going to help save the coach from getting a few more gray hairs after that.
6-3-1 on the season. Losses to Georgetown and Lehigh and Indiana. And the tie against former Penn State Nittany Lion Marlon LeBlanc, West Virginia team.
That's a very good team to tie. I believe that game was in Morgantown. Was it not, Dean? I can't recall. Either way, it's a good team. It's especially tough in their home turf.
Warming. Across the field to Klingenberg. Burnham makes the overlapping run. Arnone tracking back to clean it up. Here comes the Michigan Wolverines. TJ Van Sluten, some speed off the bench, number 22.
That's a dimension Van Sluten supplies, and they need to get possession more of the game. Grant Warming's had an excellent game in the middle of the park. He's winning a lot of balls, and Penn State's just been dominant there. They need to find somebody on the end who can put one away.
Barone looking for Klingenberg. Seiler comes forward. And Grinwis, as a goalkeeper, may be one of the fastest players on the teams. Cat-like quick.
He's been the man of the match in the first half, no question about it. The danger here with Penn State, they're having such control, and they want so much to get the equalizer, and they don't push too many people forward and get a counterattack opportunity given to Michigan.
Over the top, Murphy in a foot race with Wolverton, and Wolverton, the big man, comes out and will haul it in.
He almost had that counterattack opportunity right there. Good job by Wolverton to cut that play off.
Warming playing centrally for most of this half after starting out wide. Opari, after he heads it, has to readjust the mask. Harris. And Harris will earn the throw in right in front of Shaka Daly in the Michigan bench as we count down the final seconds of the first half with the Michigan Wolverines, and a goal from TJ Roan is the difference right now.
Well, it is, and since that time, Penn State's been exploding into the Michigan attack. That man right there, Kelton Cheney, had a golden opportunity, the best of many for Penn State, and he's frustrated. Andrew Wolverton knows he has to keep Michigan off the board and hope that his teammates can come through a little better finishing to equalize and maybe take this game.
So on a pretty chilly night here in Ann Arbor, the Michigan Wolverines are on top 1-0, and the top man for Michigan, Shaka Daly. You got to be pleased. The momentum from the Buckeye game led right into this one, Shaka.
Yeah, I think our energy's been good. I think Penn State's kind of held the game in this half a little bit too much. I think they've only had 2 or 3 really good chances, and Adam Grinwis came up with 2 fantastic saves. So, you know, at the moment we're hanging on, and we need to do better though in their half. We need to play a little bit more.
Well, you made an interesting substitution, Shaka. You brought Brown into the midfield, and he'd been sort of the star from out of the back. What's your thinking there?
Just to try to shore some things up. I think we weren't winning enough battles. I think momentum was starting to go Penn State's way as the half went on. I just wanted to see if we could break up some momentum and give Latif some rest for the second half here to have good energy.
Shaka, good luck in the second half.
Thank you.
Shaka Daly, the fine head coach for the Michigan Wolverines, and their fans like it. A goal from Rome as Michigan on top, 1-0.
Hi, I'm Joe Gray with the Gojo Hands Free. the only device on Earth that's truly hands-free. These things are not hands-free. You stick them in your ears, gross, but you
Fathead.
Bob Warming, the Penn State head coach. 13-4, Coach. What do you got to do to get one in there?
Keep doing what we're doing. I like the way the team's playing. Maybe we can be a little bit more patient as the game opens up here in the second half. Maybe we can find Jacob and Owen, our central midfield players, a little bit more. I think the only time we had a lot of trouble is when we passed the ball to our outside backs early instead of playing our central midfield players out of the back and playing our wide midfield players and then going from there. So I like what we're doing. I told to encourage the guys, keep it up, and we're going to get something.
Bob, if you control the midfield anymore, you're going to be able to establish an eminent domain in there. That's not the problem. It's the final third. That's been the difficulty this year. That you've got to figure out a way to get in the back of the net. What adjustments will you make with your attack in the final third?
Well, Richard, I tell you what, if we'd slid on 2 balls, we'd have had 2 goals. That's a start. I don't know. I like the way the team's playing, and goal scorers go in streaks. And I like what the guys are doing. And I have confidence in them, and I know we're going to get goals. So I'm not concerned about it. I'm hopeful that these guys are going to be able to put it away.
Bob Warming, good luck in the second half.
Thank you.
The head coach of Penn State, now in his 3rd season, Bob Warming. And you know, Bob Warming, if they do find those goals and he's confident of it, this could be a very dangerous team down the Big Ten stretch.
Well, it could be. It's a very good team, and the problem's been getting those goals. And that answer Bob gave is very typical of him. He's so positive and so encouraging of his players. That's a characteristic of the way he goes about it.
Underway here in the second half. Penn State with the blue jerseys, Michigan in their home whites. Seiler, he will lose it with McAtee. Picking right up where he left off in the first half. Arnone will look up. Finds Murphy, who has stayed at that center forward position. Looking for Alashe, who is back in there. Brown came on for him in the first half, but it's Alashe back in the middle of the field. Here's Klingenberg, who was very good on the right flank. Played up top for Penn State. Finds the feet of Cheney. It was Cheney who almost made it 1-1. As Bob Warming said, if he could just slid it in the goal, we'd be tied. Burnham has stayed in that right back position. Look at Murphy, what a clever touch to McAtee. McAtee looks back up, finds Arnone. And it was Murphy who started this. They spring it to the right side. On the attack, Van Slooten. Van Slooten will cut back with his right foot, looking for Murphy, too strong. McAtee was on the other side of Murphy. Zeke Harris. And Zeke Harris earns a corner kick for Michigan.
Like what we're seeing out of Michigan, Shaka Daly, I'm sure, has told his players, we can't just sit back in. We've got to be a lot more aggressive. We can't hope that we can hold them off for 45 minutes. So Shaka Daly urging the troops on. Didn't like one adjustment right in the beginning of the game. Seiler holds the ball in the back, almost gives the ball up, and Michigan's through. Michigan with a corner. Dangerous opportunity right at the start of the half for the Wolverines.
3-1 corners. Penn State leads it. McAtee to Lewin. Lewin back in. Flag is up. You knew that was coming. Quick restart from Penn State. I like it. Cardona. Bumped off by Clemson. Cardona needs some blue jerseys. They're coming for him. Sent back across. Too strong for Owen Griffith, though. I like how the blue jerseys caught up with Cardona, though, Richard.
They did. Made a great effort back. Julian Cardona staying on. They're opening with him.
Klingenberg into the 18. There's a handball. Oh, they didn't call it.
Got away with one there. Obvious handball, and Daniel Burnham. Great battle down this side between Klingenberg and Lewin.
You'd even hear Bob Warming say, got away with that one. Here's Burnham to Klingenberg. Looks up. 3 blue jerseys in there. Down near the end line, and Grinwis with the near post guarded just the way they teach you in goalkeeper class.
Boy, he's done a lot of things like this. This is Klingenberg's ability to beat people, get the ball in, and Cardona just can't get to the near post. Good tracking by Opara. And Cardona just not quite able to get there. Another close opportunity for Penn State.
Right at the tail end of that, you could actually see Cardona put his hands in the air. I think he wanted Klingenberg to try to pop that ball back as opposed to shoot it near post.
I think he wanted Kofi Opara to disappear so he could get in there. That's not going to happen. Opara, when he concentrates on his defensive responsibilities, is a formidable obstacle for Penn State.
Hard tackle coming in by Cheney. Now Cardona.
Colin, think about it. Just think.
Seiler with a clever header to Burnham. It'll come back to the Michigan Wolverines. They lead it. A score of 1-0. Good look at Seiler, part of that great Tyler Community College. There are players all over big-time schools. USF has a couple of them. St. John's does as well.
A couple MLS teams have a couple of them too. I know Dom Dwyer, outstanding player. He left after 1 year to go. He's now with Sporting Kansas City.
McAtee to Alashe. Murphy. McAtee wants it back. Lewin, what a shield. Oh no, hard tackle. Cheney came in there hard. Cleats were up. They're going to get a warning. And Michigan now with a free kick opportunity.
You can hear Shaka Daly shouting from the sideline, got to protect the players. Cheney comes very hard, and he is indeed fortunate not to get a yellow card. Came in with his cleats straight up. He's probably still thinking about that missed opportunity, letting his frustrations come out, but you can't be doing that, and he's really fortunate not to get booked for that challenge.
Cheney with 2 goals on the season. He's actually from State College, Pennsylvania, went to State College Area High School, so about bleeding the blue of Penn State.
Little bit of action there. Owen Griffith went into challenge for that ball, and there Seiler's coming in, and Griffith, I believe it was, offered to help McAtee up. He wanted no part of it. It was a hard battle. It's becoming a more and more physical game.
The referee managing the intensity right now. Both these teams 1-1 in Big Ten play. Shaka Daly. Good times are coming to Michigan.
Did a great job at Providence. His team's always overachieved, being very competitive in the Big East year after year. Under the radar players. They had a great eye for talent and a great ability to get the most out of players.
72 wins. 7 seasons at Providence, was actually the NSCAA National Coach of the Year in 2005. As you said, left his alma mater, loves the support they have here at Michigan, and how can you not when you look at this unbelievable complex. Klingenberg, 1 too many touches, and once again, Opari wins it.
Very good defensive player, Opari. Sometimes he tries to do a little too much with the ball. He concentrates on defending. He's an excellent obstacle in the defense.
Arnone to Zeke Harris. Zeke kind of falling backward. Ooh, Wolverton slips. And Wolverton, it's a little clumsy coming out right there, but able to handle it.
Fine if Harris falls backward, not if Wolverton falls backward. A little bit of a fracas in front of the goal. Seiler doing his business to make sure that Murphy can't get in and take advantage of the slip up by Wolverton.
Look at Barone trying to find Cardona. Lewin and Klingenberg, that's going to be a good matchup. Griffith sends it back across. Campbell was lurking in, making that run from the left back position. Campbell started at right back. Akio Howard started at left back. When they brought Burnham in, though, Campbell went over to the left side. Van Sluten slips and trips.
But everybody.
Penn State, Min Vu. Boy, in the first 15 minutes, Min Vu, number 10 for Penn State, was all over the place. And as it progressed, Michigan minimized the impact of this player who tore up this field last year at the Big Ten tournament. He was the Big Ten tournament MVP, and they didn't even win it.
He seems to like playing on this field. He's back on. Grant Warming played the entire first half, did an excellent job. They're putting Min Vu back in. They've got Klingenberg back in. And as Bob Warming talked, let's get the ball wide a little bit. Let's not try to force it down the middle. He's got some creative wide players who can cause problems in Min Vu and Klingenberg and Grant Warming when he's in there as well.
What a run it was for Penn State. They went 0-6 in Big Ten play and then came here to Ann Arbor and won their first 2 games of the Big Ten season and had a 1-0 lead on Northwestern. 3 Big Ten championship games in a row for the Nittany Lions. Shop for tickets to Wolverines events and interact via social media at the official home of Michigan Athletics, mgoblue.com, part of the Big Ten Digital Network. Klingenberg. Burnham. Barone, it'll go off of Barone, and there's Lewin again.
He's done an excellent job as we look at both these coaches. They've all had a few things they've disagreed with in the officiating, but it's been a very, very competitive game. Bob Warming looking for answers. One answer he doesn't want is Martin Seiler coming out of the back. Got away with coming out of the back that time, but he almost paid for it early on. He needs to stay at home, be aware of the counterattack, and then I think the key to Penn State is the ability to knock it wide. They've got good players out wide who can beat people and open up things in front of the goal.
Carrera's got Van Sluten on the right. Into space, Van Sluten, he can dial, back across the frame of the goal. I think he was shooting, Richard, but I'm not too sure.
Oh, he was shooting that, and this is a great pass by Fabio Ferreira. Just puts that ball in behind the Penn State defense. He doesn't get all of it, and unfortunately they can't get anybody on the end of the ball. It's Colin McAtee trying to come to the far post. Van Sluten had a great game coming off the bench against Ohio State, and he's caused problems already for Penn State tonight.
Looking for his first go is Van Sluten. But as you said, Richard, really active against Ohio State, one of his best games under Shaka Daly. Klemzak gets a piece, and then after he gets a piece, he decides to take down Min Vu, doesn't like the call.
Brian Klemzak's a better player than that. He's a smart, intelligent player. That was a foul. He pushed Min Vu, and he very easily could have gotten a card for dissent. Brian Klemzak needs to be the leader of his team out here. Bob Warming exhorting his troops on the sideline, but the point is with Klemzak, he has to be the leader, has to be a steadying influence, not commit fouls like that.
Vu in, right to Grinwis. You mentioned a yellow card for dissent. Bob Warming actually got one at halftime. Well, so he is in the books.
A couple of questionable calls, but you look at this last situation. Min Vu plays it in. The marking is poor. The distraction there, I think that might have been Barone getting on the end of it, but Klemzak losing his concentration, and they get a chance and almost convert.
McAtee. Clever ball to Murphy, and Murphy not on target for Michigan.
One of the things Shaka Daly mentioned to me was the role of these senior leaders, Klemzak and Opari and Latif Alashe. They have to give Grinwis more help in this particular game, and they've got to keep their composure and be an example, not lose their composure like Klemzak did, and Alashe got a little frustrated in the first half. Kofi Opari's had an excellent game, though, in the back for Michigan.
8 saves for Grinwis. Tying his hide. Klingenberg back across, and look at Grinwis.
And look at Grinwis, and it's a good thing he comes out aggressively because Hassani Sinclair is coming after that ball. Klemzak does a good job tracking Sinclair, but this is all about Grinwis. Great cross by Klingenberg. The only thing I can say is maybe get it a little lower, give your forwards a chance to run in front of that ball.
Grinwis looking like he could catch a pass from Denard Robinson, who will be featured on The Journey coming up right here on the Big Ten Network. Michigan over the ball.
Make sure you want. Come on.
Fabio Pereira is a very accurate server of the ball.
Decides to go right to Arnone, a play for sure. Arnone back across. Van Sluten is there. Somehow it stays in bounds, and Penn State can counter. It's Burnham in a foot race with Murphy. Burnham trying to stay with it. Plays it into his own space. Good stuff from Burnham. Murphy all over him, and he's got to get that call. He does.
That's a tremendous effort by Daniel Burnham. And Dean, you talked about somehow it stays in. It stays in because great defending by Klingenberg. Plays it out to Burnham, and look at this determination in his run. Murphy almost knocks him off the ball, probably fouls him there. Keeps coming after. Burnham won't give up, and he gets the call. And now I think it's Murphy. It may be down on the sideline.
They were almost dance partners for the final 5 steps as Burnham put his arm right around Murphy. But he was going to get that call.
That's the versatility of Daniel Burnham. He's been a valuable player since he's been at Penn State. Can play a lot of different positions, plays in the back, can come forward out of the back. Been a midfielder, been a forward, valuable player in the team. Doesn't always get that many minutes, but his minutes are crucial for the team's success. Shaka Daly has to be a little bit anxious because Penn State continues to get good chances. How many times can Grinwis turn into Superman in the goal?
I think the referee gave a yellow to Murphy. Try to get some clarification on that. It's Shaka Daly, head coach of the Michigan Wolverines. Indeed, it was Murphy with the yellow. Min Vu over the ball. Can't get over the head of Arnone. Klingenberg keeps it alive. Back in the game now is Legister. Min Vu with a good ball. Opari heads it. It'll fall to Barone. Barone, right side, Legister. One touch from Legister, and Penn State is in.
And that's a really good idea by Barone. A lot of people would have shot that from 40 yards without any success. Barone found Legister. Legister has to anticipate those things. More anticipation of these Penn State forwards. Bob Warming is doing everything he can with the substitutions, with the utilization of personnel. He can't put the ball in the back of the net for his team, and I'm sure he's greatly frustrated by that.
McAtee, who had the assist on the only goal of the game, will now come out. And you can still hear Bob Warming giving some words to the referee. Remember, he's already got one yellow, so Smiling Bob's got to be a little bit careful.
Well, he can't be smiling too much now, but he's a very positive guy, and he has great belief in his players. It's characteristic of the man. He just handles all the adversity really, really well. And if he finds the combinations up front, Penn State is going to be good. Not good, they're going to be very good.
Assisted Bob Warming is by Chad Dernberger and Bo Oshani, the longtime goalkeeper in Major League Soccer. Came over from Wake Forest last year. Vu, Klingenberg. Burnham in support, first times it with the right. Arnone headed the first one out. Lewin. Sinclair with a pretty good ball to Burnham. Falls to Barone, and he sends it into the night.
Just frustration there, Barone trying to do it, but really, really good work by Burnham. It was just all over the park. This is tremendous effort. Desperation clearances in the back by, I believe that was Arnone that time. Burnham at right back is becoming the most dominant attacking player in the game.
Etienne Lucier, number 23, now in for Shaka Daly. Opari in a foot race with Sinclair. You could hear him say away. So it'll be a throw in for Penn State. Good communication from Grinwis.
Once again, Daniel Burnham just going up to Klingenberg and telling him to get out of the way. This is going to be a long throw-in into the box. Another dangerous opportunity for Penn State.
UCA in for Murphy. Burnham can toss it. Seiler, the big man, the center back, kept it alive, and now Fabio Pereira will just clear it. Dean Linke along with Richard Broad here at the Michigan Soccer Complex. Third game of the Big Ten season. Both teams 1-1 and sit behind Indiana and Northwestern. A key matchup. Burnham looking for Vu. Flag stays down. Sinclair can't get to it. Won by Griffith. Good ball back to Burnham. Burnham thought about dialing one up, but put it back on his left. It's Loon who gets it deflected, and Grinwis is there again to handle the header from Legister.
You're not going to beat Adam Grinwis without really running good, precise patterns. And the temptation now with Penn State, the frustration is trying to force the ball down the middle. They are going to be most effective if they keep the ball wide and use the one-on-one ability of people like Klingenberg.
Van Sluten is in. Van Sluten looks up, sends it back across. Nobody home. Pereira made a near post run, so did Murphy.
When you're pushing players forward, you get exposed in the back. It's a good ball into Van Sluten, but he doesn't have confidence in his left foot. He has to bring it back to his right, and as a result, he doesn't get a good chance.
No white jerseys there. Murphy closing in, kept alive. Goal kick, Penn State.
You have to like Murphy up front. Shaka Daly's attempted to try to play him up front, getting good minutes out of Van Sluten out wide, enables him to move Murphy up top, and at some point he may use both Roan and Murphy as attacking player. Seiler coming forward, I don't like that at all, and that's why I don't like it. Too easy to give the ball up.
Van Sluten won it to Alashe, and Murphy with a second heavy touch, and that allows Wolverton to come off his line.
Martin Seiler has dodged a bullet a couple times this half. I know he wants to win. He's a competitive guy. He didn't have the success he did at Tyler Community College. It's not his job to come out of the back in the attack. He's almost cost his team dearly. He needs to stay at home and rely on the midfielders and front runners, and a player like Burnham, who's more comfortable coming out of the attack, out of the back into the attack.
Campbell with the throw-in, finds Sinclair. Hard tackle by Zeke Harris, but won back by Min Vu. Min Vu thrown to the ground, free kick for Penn State.
Even though nothing happened directly out of that, they didn't get the ball in. The ability of Min Vu, the ability of Klingenberg to beat people wide can create fouls and restarts, as you see right here. Obvious foul on Klemzak. Now's a restart from the flank box, and this is a really dangerous situation.
Vu. Driven in. Sinclair's got to keep making that run. It was flicked, though, by Michigan, and Penn State will have another shot at it.
Somehow that didn't hit somebody on Penn State. Owen Griffiths is right up for that ball, and I thought he could have gotten a piece of it.
There's Ian Gordona, who actually went to Ohio State, is on the bench now for Shaka Daly, along with Tommy McMenemy from Columbia, sent back across.
Great effort by Zeke Harris to clear that because Griffith was running onto it.
Murphy. Michigan on the counter. Pereira looks up. He's got Van Sluten in front of him. Pereira keeps it alive down near the end line. Still Pereira. And it's Barone who came all the way back to handle the Michigan counter. Wolverton calls for it. Richard, good team defending right there by Penn State because it was on once Murphy was able to get it out to the left side.
Jacob Barone going all the way back, all the way to his own end line to help Wolverton out. Great job by Barone. That's why Bob Warming thinks so highly of that young man.
He's wasting time.
Klemzak straight up with Sinclair. Michigan starting to feel that Nittany Lion pressure. Bob Warming said there's a goal in this team. In fact, you can tell he feels like there's plenty of goals.
If you get one, sometimes a lid can come off and floodgates can open.
Shane Campbell from York, Pennsylvania. Long throw. Opari. Opari may have played more balls with his head than with his feet here tonight.
I think so, and that's one of his great assets. He's tall and rugged and strong. He's played the whole way despite coming off that appendicitis and the other injury, a broken nose.
You gotta ignore those things.
Ooh, good turn by Pereira.
Get up!
Normally Pereira would turn and just play it himself, but he's trying to free up Murphy. Lewin again in the battle. Now Arnone. Scott Van Sluten. You can hear Bob Warming saying don't foul. And Burnham cleans it up with a nutmeg on Van Sluten. Back heel from Griffith. Now Penn State's playing. Burnham to Sinclair. Latif Alashe. Pereira. Flag is up. Good call, I thought. Murphy was a couple steps off.
Just a little bit offside, very, very close. The danger with Penn State trying to get forward as they leave players alone like Murphy and the other attacking players. Lachey with good work in the midfield. We haven't called his number enough to suit Michigan.
There's Zeke Harris. Always positive, extremely intelligent young man from Flint, Michigan, Zeke Harris.
Above all, he's a competitive guy. He has a great deal of fire, and he works up and down. He's improved as a defender, and he gives him an offensive presence.
Minvu. Need Legister to win those balls if they're going to hold it up at midfield. Pereira turns, runs right into Griffith. This time Legister plays it back. Tough ball for Barone. Seiler with a nice header. Griffith. Seiler plays it off his stomach. Now Pereira waiting for some support. Making the run was Lucier, but they can't find him. Heavy ball from Griffith, and you can see his hands in the air, apologizing to his teammates. And the Michigan Wolverines with a first half goal from TJ Roan lead the Penn State Nittany Lions by a score of 1-0 here on the Big Ten Network.
If you had a choice between going bald and a full head of hair, which would you choose? Advances in medical science have resulted in the world's first and only permanent solution to hair loss.
Yes!
You wash it, you cut it. It's your own real, naturally growing hair. When it comes to hair restoration, no one in the world has more experience than Bosley. The results look completely natural and are affordable on nearly any budget. But the entire process can't be explained in 60 brief seconds. So to find out more about this clinically proven and permanent solution to hair loss, call now to receive your free no-obligation information kit. It'll answer all of your questions about hair loss and hair restoration. Plus, we'll also send you this $250 gift certificate just for calling. Every day you wait, you're losing more hair. So don't put it off any longer. You owe it to yourself to find out the facts. Choose hair. Choose Bosley.
Call 1-800-575-9668. That's 1-800-575-9668.
So the four wide guys are staying nice and high, and you're getting caught in between. You have to make a decision, okay? The two wide guys are nice and high, so you're playing with like four forwards. Understand? Okay? So what has to happen is you got to make sure that Fabio, you step a little bit, all right? With James, and split the difference so you can press the ball and press service. Make them play underneath a little bit more so we can get behind it a little bit. Understand?
Good stuff from the coach right there, Shaka Daly, getting it done. I want to also tell you that right after soccer, it's a special presentation of the season premiere of The Journey, Big Ten Football 2012, and the coverage starts right after our match on BTN. Find out what's at stake for Michigan's Denard Robinson during his senior year and meet Ohio State's John Simon. It's the Journey on the Big Ten Network, and the Michigan Wolverines winning big today at Purdue. Good stuff from Shaka Daly, Richard Broad.
Typical Shaka Daly. He's a great tactician, and he really approached the game scientifically. He took a program from Steve Burns. Steve Burns did a magnificent job here, taking the program from club status, establishing credibility. Second to last year, they went to the College Cup. Shaka Daly's coming in and there's a different element to it, more tactical approach and a little more tightness to the game. Steve Burns, wide open style. Shaka Daly, a little more discipline. They'll need that in these last 20 minutes.
Michigan Wolverine fans having a good time here. 22 minutes and change left, and the Wolverines trying to go 2-1 on the Big Ten season, as is Penn State. They need to equalize first. Lachey to Pereira. McAtee is checked back in for Lucier. McAtee's on it to Murphy. Klemzak. Ford, good, solid header back to Wolverton. He'll quickly lay it over to Seiler. There's Lachey stepping in. Lachey with the foul. Latif Lachey. You said you haven't said his name a whole lot. You'll hear that name a lot when they play Michigan State. His brother stars for the Spartans.
Well, he's a fine player, and they need this energy out of him. The ball played into Griffith. Tough position for him to receive that ball in, and Lachey almost stripped him of it.
Latif Lachey, his brother Fatai, playing for Damon Rensing and the Michigan State Spartans. 13 fouls for Michigan, just 6 for Penn State. Penn State looking for the equalizer. Vu is back there. Grinwis leaning the other way. Knocked out of bounds. Corner kick, Penn State.
By working the ball wide as they do in this situation. This is Campbell. He's got good speed. Gets into Minh Phu. He drives it across, and Nick Lewin, once again, is the unsung hero right there on the spot before that ball can get to Grinwis. But all starts by going wide. Don't want to force it down the middle. Go wide, stretch the defense, and get it in quickly. Don't delay when you have the opportunity.
Vu with that right foot. Griffith with McAtee all over him. You can get the most recent PSU sports news and information, plus all your apparel needs at the home of Penn State Athletics. Go PSUsports.com.
Good, Burnham, come on.
Burnham into space for Sinclair, marked by Opari. Warming back into the game. Murphy.
Take the foul. You're calling these little fouls. That's a foul too.
Shaka Daly
here.
Continues to give the referee an earful. Lachey's picking it up here in the second half, Richard Broad.
They need him to. He's an important player. As Latif Lachey goes, so go the Wolverines.
Boy, what a tough ball to win there by Minh Phu, and he does it. Played out wide to Campbell. Campbell was hoping for a little give and go from Minh Phu. There's Seiler stepping around Murphy, but doesn't clear it. McAtee, can he keep it in? He can. McAtee marked by Campbell. Forgot the ball for a moment. Now here's Pereira. Can he spin and give it back? Here's Shaka Daly asking Fabio what he's doing right there. Fabio normally so good at getting out of those situations, though, Richard.
Going up against a very good tackler in Barone. What you see happening now, though, Dean, is the outside backs. Not only Burnham on the right side, but Campbell on the left coming down. It's important, therefore, for Seiler and Brian Ford to stay back and hold against any counterattack, because Burnham and Campbell can hurt the Wolverines by going down the flanks.
Campbell letting Penn State set up. Legister made an initial run toward him. We'll see where Legister ends up. He has a big target in there. Griffith tried to do a mini bicycle, and that does earn another corner kick now for the Nittany Lions, knocking on the door.
Oh, and Griffith just very, very fit, just keeps running 90 minutes every game for Bob Warming.
There's Bo O'Shaughnessy, his assistant coach.
He's been in some winning programs. South Florida when they went deep in the tournament. Wake, now at Penn State.
Dangerous ball. Opari along with Olashi there.
Michigan gave up some goals on corners in some previous games. The difference, Kofi Opari in the middle of the back. Clears a lot of balls out.
Penn State again. Klemzak got the initial header. Seiler kept it alive. Vu is still in the 18. Back across. Grinwis off his line, but they'll call the foul on Sinclair.
That ball has been in the box, and Bob Warming can't believe how many times it can go in without going in the net. And he's looking there at Cardona, who I think will come on very soon. They're bringing Cardona on, and they're bringing in Kelton Cheney to see if he can give it a chance. And Bob Warming's probably saying, hey, just put one away now, and let's see if we can get something. They may even try to throw a third player up into the forward line. Let's see.
Burnham header falls to the wrong team, Arnone. Now here's Grant Warming. Warming with 3 clever touches. Now Burnham. Nutmeg on Lewin. Burnham is a right back, but as Richard Broad pointed out, he's more of an attacking player.
Michigan only one man to counter up front. They keep the 2 back, and they get the outside backs coming forward. It is a 2-for-2 substitution again, with Cheney and Cardona coming in for Legister and Sinclair. But again, maybe they almost have 4 up, like Shaka Daly was talking about, by getting those wide players up.
Campbell a little too casual, and McAtee will win it. 16 minutes left here in Ann Arbor. Michigan looking to go 2-0 on the Big Ten season. They were 0-3 at home last year in Big Ten play.
Excellent ball back by Klemzak, finding his mate up front, getting that ball onto his forward's foot.
Hey, TJ, step to the ball, TJ. Step to the ball, stop dropping.
Goes off of Opari, and yet another corner kick for Daniel Burnham and Penn State.
Fresh legs of Cheney putting the pressure on Kofi Opari, who's gonna sleep well tonight. He's had a lot of work to do in the back.
Jack Brown has come back in for Olache, and he'll play that holding midfield position just as he did in the first half.
More of a defensive presence.
Burnham with the corner. Cheney was there. Barone battles, kept alive. Barone on the ground. Can't get anything behind it. Now Burnham. And Grinwis will clean it up.
The guy they made the initial save, the man that Shaka Daly subbed in, Jack Brown.
Pushing the right buttons right now is Shaka Daly.
Very astute tactician, uses his personnel very well. That's how he had all that success against Providence, against every year far more talented teams in the Big East.
Michigan started the season at number 5 USF and actually led that game 1-0 for a couple defensive lapses. Cost him in the second half, but a pretty impressive debut for the Wolverines. Zeke Harris turns it back to Klemzak.
Get up!
Pereira able to win it to Murphy. Murphy. Van Sluten joins in. Van Sluten trying to get it right back to Murphy. He does. Tyler Arnone. There's Brown. Now Lewin. 6-7 passes strung together by the team that leads Michigan. Arnone. Pereira. And just that last pass, Seiler will use Wolverton.
Good work by Martin Seiler. He's been tempted to come up. He's sitting back in. They need that kind of play out of Martin Seiler. Excellent job tracking and denying an opportunity for Michigan.
Seiler has been busy combining back there with Ford. Need to point out that John Gallagher, the regular left back, who has been penciled in every game, had to sit out 2 games for being involved in a fight a few games ago where no punches were thrown or anything like that. Bob Warming thought it was a little bit harsh on Gallagher.
That was a questionable call, and he's out of this game, and they could use him. And he's another one of those converted forwards who can play very effectively as an outside back getting in the attack.
Got red carded at Lehigh in a game that Penn State lost late, as they were rolling near 600 minutes, 550 plus of shutout soccer before Lehigh knocked one in. Cheney over to Burnham.
Even though they got a shot in that situation, not the right approach. They start inside, try to drive it in, then put it outside for the shot. It's got to go the other way. Daniel Burnham knows. Work the ball wide, then get in crosses. And we've got another change coming on. Akil Howard, who started at left back, is going back in at left back for Shane Campbell. He may be an even more effective player coming forward in the attack. Look for him to get up that left side.
The goal scorer is now back on the pitch as well, T.J. Roan.
It's a physical presence, and he's probably going to come back for restarts to defend in the air. Pereira, not a particularly strong defensive player, although he's worked very hard defensively today.
Harris immediately looks for Roan. Penn State desperate for the equalizer. Warming.
Tyler Arnone taking this very steady on the ball. He's embodied what Shaka Daly wants in his players. Commitment, professionalism, competitiveness. That's Tyler Arnone in that midfield position.
And it's Arnone's ball that is sent there to Van Sluten, right across the frame to McAtee. Corner kick, Michigan.
Bob Warming just made a substitution. It was to bring on Akil Howard, and he's probably very glad he did, because that ball looked like that was on the frame. That shot by McAtee, deflected over the top by Howard.
Murphy taking his time. 10.5 minutes remain.
It's really taking his time. I think he's hoping all 10 minutes might elapse before he has to kick this.
Just the socks, takes a look. Left foot, looking for Opari. And Opari added a little shove. Big Ten soccer fans, make sure to check out the BTN Soccer Report, our weekly web show hosted by Kevin Egan on BTN.com with previews, interviews, and breakdowns of the conference's beautiful game. You can also follow on Twitter at BTN Soccer Report. Penn State keeping the pressure on. Barone has Warming. He's got Burnham on the right. He'll give it to Burnham. Burnham with Lewin to beat. Back to his left. Sent across. May have been mishit. Howard has it now. Griffith. Burnham. Down near the end line again. Looking to get a corner kick. That was his plan, but Michigan stepped out just in time.
It was Dean. He was looking to get a deflection, just didn't quite get around. We've got 2 more subs coming back on. Got Sinclair and Legister coming back in. They're bringing off the other 2 forwards. Bob Warming has tried just about everything. I'm going to make some kind of suggestion. It's easy to do up here and speculate. They've got a player, Eli Dennis, who's a tremendous header of the ball. I wouldn't be surprised we might see him come in the last couple of minutes if they can get a corner and use his ability in the air. He's a defender, maybe push him forward for some of those restarts.
Seiler to Vu. Vu into space perfectly to Sinclair, marked by Opari. Sinclair Heads to the end line as well. He'll earn the corner kick for Penn State.
And that's what they're looking for. Anything now, you sort of have to throw the script out the window, just throw players forward. Good job by Asani Sinclair. It's again, Grin was organizing that defense, and he's going to be looking at Klemzak and O'Parry to come up big.
Sinclair's hoping to get this one served to him. He'll make the near post run. And they were looking for Sinclair. All he had to do is flick it, keeps it alive right across the frame, and it's a goal! And it's Howard who ties it for Penn State.
How about that? And Bob Warming loves it, but it's his substitution of Akil Howard, who opened the game at left back, came on, and Hassani Sinclair, who just wouldn't give up on the ball before, picks that ball up and lays it across, and this is just a great goal. Bob Warming's patience is rewarded. It's Akil Howard just getting inside and tucking that ball away, driven in by Burnham. Excellent low corner. Sinclair doesn't quite get all of it, gets enough of it to get it through to Akil Howard. Big, big goal. We're tied 1-1.
What a story is Howard. His first goal for Penn State, as we mentioned, was over at the American International University in London a year ago. He's from Queens, New York. Also played internationally with St. Vincent and the Grenadines national team, and here he is on the board for Penn State.
Well, he is, because Bob Warming has confidence in his players, never giving up, not changing it. I might have gone to a desperate measure, putting in Eli Dennis just to get on the end of a corner. But Bob Warming's faith in his players is rewarded. They're back in the game. Let's see how Michigan responds.
Brown, pretty sharp ball. Will it hold up for McAtee? It will. McAtee on the turn. Colin McAtee. Arnone is open. TJ Roan steps in front of him, though. I don't think Roan knew Arnone was crashing down on it. Now Zeke Harris. Harris with the left foot. Arnone still in there, and Seiler. Lewin sees Wolverton off his line and has a go.
Oh, it's worth a try by Nick Lewin. He mishit it a little bit. That one before, that ball was coming to Arnone, and I don't know if Arnone had called dummy and let it go through, he would have had a chance from the top of the box. We can't tell from here whether the communication was there or not, but it's important because he had a much better angle running toward the ball.
I haven't gotten any leads, and I'm watching this game.
Klemzak. As we talked about the 10-minute mark, Michigan was really looking to just sort of kill the clock. They bombed a lot of long balls. Now they're going to need to possess to come back and try to get the winner here, Richard.
And they used Jack Brown in the midfield. He did a nice job, but I think they need Latif Alashe. And we said at the beginning of this broadcast, he's got to step forward, and it's important for him to do the job.
Legister will dial one up. Grinwis. All he could do just to parry that away as it was going right through him. What a hammer from Legister.
Legister can hit the ball a ton, and he certainly did that time to Adam Grinwis, who has just been superb. This ball is laid back. Look at the turn by Legister. When you give him a little room, he can pound the ball, and Grinwis can't hold that. Wisely parries it away.
Marvin Legister from London, England, senior forward. Also can play in the midfield.
We have one of the Michigan players cramped
Lewin.
right in front of the Penn State bench.
Lewin, the redshirt sophomore.
He has a reason to cramp. He's just worked ever so hard all match long. Look at Akil Howard, who scored the goal. But right after that, he dove in on a tackle and almost cost his team dearly. That's what you get when you use an experienced player. But he's a terrific athlete, and he really came through just when the Nittany Lions needed him to.
Boy, I like right there also you could see as Bob Warming looking on. Owen Griffith, the sophomore captain, was bringing the team together right there.
He's a great leader. Bob Warming says he's the heart and soul of the team. He is what Penn State soccer is going to be about.
43 goals and 30 assists at Lewisburg High School for Griffith.
Did you say Lewisburg? That seems to be where Bucknell University is located. And I think Brendan Mash is one of the really outstanding coaches in the country, but he didn't see this guy, and he went down the road to Penn State, and boy, is Bob Warming glad of that. Owen Griffiths is going to be a star. Great in the air, tremendous energy, tremendous work rate. A lot of people passed up on Owen Griffith, and Penn State's the beneficiary of having him in their program.
Bob Warming, and you mentioned Bucknell. They'll actually play them on October 17th. How about 2 tough non-conference matchups in the middle of the Big Ten season?
It's not an easy road right down there. Akron and Northwestern nationally ranked, and Ohio State, Michigan State's always tough. And Brendan Nash got a fine team at Bucknell. That's a tough slate for Penn State.
Brown, the hero of the win over the Ohio State Buckeyes, and it's Brown who gets a piece of it, trying to find TJ Roan. Ooh, a little bit of trouble right there as Seiler holds off Roan as Wolverton bombs it long to Legister. Legister, now he's doing the work of holding that ball. Warming, like he was fouled, will get the call for Penn State.
Grant Warming get a pat in the head from Legister, and he's back in the game already. Very sound player, Grant Warming. He's not flashy, not spectacular, just gets the job done. He coaches son, he understands the game and makes all the right decisions.
There's Grant Warming. To me, the best part of that play, though, was the work Legister did to hold it up, get rid of 2 white jerseys, and then created the foul for Warming. Here's Seiler over it.
Legister can hold the ball. He's a big, strong guy. He gets the ball at his feet. He's tough to knock off the ball.
Sinclair felt like he was pushed. Minvu sends it back in. Sinclair was offside. Now they're all on. Minvu. McAtee had the assist on the first one. Plays it into space. Murphy able to get it. He'll look up. He's got Arnone immediately. In the box is Roan. Murphy looking for Roan. Headed out of there by Ford. Tyler Lepick now in, number 26 for Michigan, and it's Lepick in a foot race with Burnham. Burnham only has Sinclair. He'll go around Lepick like he's not there. Sinclair went down for the second time, trying to get a call. Minvu on the turn. Klemzak comes over. 3 minutes and change. Could be another overtime matchup here in Ann Arbor. Grant Warming, great ball to Sinclair. He'll chest it down to Burnham. Now Griffith looks to Barone. Howard. Howard tied it for Penn State after coming off the bench. He started, got pulled in the first half, came on, and Bob Warming with a genius substitution. Wolverton with Murphy crashing down. Lepick. You can hear Shaka saying, get going, Tyler. Burnham. Oh, off of Arnone. 2 minutes and change, Richard.
Penn State had success going down the flanks, especially the right side. Now Nick Lewin is out of the game, and Lepick is doing a good job. He's working hard, but he's coming off in like the 85th minute, and he's not fresh, coming off cold. Attack that side if you're Penn State.
Legister on the attack. Sinclair's way offside. Needs to get back on. Minvu will drop it to Barone, allowing Sinclair back on. Barone surveys. Howard.
One of your deep! One of you deep! Backside left back!
Barone. Howard feeling the pressure. Tough ball to Barone. Roan will close down on Ford. Fills it from Roan. Roan takes it away from Ford. Roan looking for a jersey. Gets it back to Arnone. Arnone slicing pass to Pereira. Arnone again keeps it alive. That was great work by Roan. Sinclair comes back to get a piece of it. Now Penn State on the counter. Legister into space. Sinclair is there, but too long.
Don't play the outside. Penn State's been a little bit casual in the back third with some balls. Brian Fork, usually not a player prone to those kind of mistakes, but is good pressure, as you said, Dean, by Roan. Michigan almost forcing an attacking third repossession and getting a goal. Roan's coming off very, very frustrated to be coming out, and Bob Warming is just, I hope he's got some aspirin back at the hotel.
But then look, he turns it right around with that inspiration, and smiling Bob, you're right, not too happy with the two center backs. But Penn State doing an admirable job getting back into this one, tied at 1. Burnham took about 10 yards to toss that one. Final 9 seconds. Grinwis will come out and handle it. And once again, overtime soccer coming in Ann Arbor. Can the Wolverines pull off another miracle? We'll take a look at the overtime rules. Play 10 minutes, and it's a golden goal like the one that Jack Brown had against Ohio State. If there is no goal after 20 minutes, the game will indeed end in a tie. Michigan got a goal in the first half, an assist from McAtee to TJ Roan, but Bob Warming's Penn State Nittany Lions came back with a goal from Akil Howard. Overtime soccer on the Big Ten Network.
Stupid, slow, dirty PC.
You know, you really should clean it up and speed it up at mycleanpc.com.
Is your computer running slow? What if you could fix it while you were online? Now you can. Just go to mycleanpc.com for your free diagnosis today. Then just activate the mycleanpc.com software to fix it in minutes. And computer specialists are available while you're online. Get rid of pop-ups and junk files. Boost your PC startup time. Even prevent annoying errors, screen freezes, and crashes.
The best thing about mycleanpc.com was it had a free diagnosis.
You know immediately what the problem is, and the problem is solved right then and there.
My computer is 100% faster. My Clean PC works.
Download your free diagnosis today at mycleanpc.com. That's mycleanpc.com.
I'm launching a hotspot. You ready?
Share everything by turning your smartphone into a mobile hotspot for up to 8 Wi-Fi enabled devices at no extra charge, like the new Droid Razr M by Motorola, only $99.99.
Overtime soccer once again in Ann Arbor, Michigan, as the Wolverines' 1-0 lead goes away in the second half. We've got overtime, Richard Broad.
We do, and in overtime, this is where the depth comes in. We're looking at Akil Howard. He's not been a starter, but he came off the bench to get a mighty big goal for Penn State. Penn State, little deeper than Michigan. Michigan is not substituted quite as much. Look at the advantage in shots. Shots on goal, really dominating the statistics. Michigan having to foul and having to rely on this man, Adam Grinwis, to deny Penn State so many times. He's been the man of the match thus far.
10 saves for Grinwis, and overtime session number 1 has begun. A goal will win it. And against the Buckeyes right here on September 30th, a goal from Jack Brown that gave Michigan a 3-2 win last week.
Michigan again in the back. They've had to go with Tyler Lepick coming on. He's in very limited time, taking out a very valuable player out of the lineup, and Nick Lewin. And Shaka Daly talked to me today. He said, you know, we really need to get more players in your build-up. We've had some good players here. Steve Burns has brought in some stars. We need to get overall more talent throughout the program. This is where it could show in the extra time. Not enough people. Penn State a bit deeper.
Klemzak will clear it. 2 years ago, Burns had all kinds of stars, and now Justin Merrim and Suni Saad are starring in Major League Soccer.
special team that went all the way to the College Cup.
Pereira. Harris was on that team. Asani Sinclair. Lepic, really good ball to Arnone. Playing over the top.
You're right, Dean. That was a really good ball. Didn't try to do anything fancy, just knocked it simple. Sprung his team in attack. Sometimes you get caught up trying to do too much. Shaka Daly has to be pleased with Lepic's performance coming off the bench, replacing a very valuable member of their defense.
Don't foul, Colin. Get up. Jump, jump. You're entitled to it.
Klemzak will boom it long. Lucier is there. Before overtime started, we were able to listen in on Shaka Daly, Richard Broad, and he talked about the fact we can play Colin McAtee all day. He'll go 15 minutes strong right here, play it to him, so we need to keep an eye out for that.
Well, that's right. He's a very fit player. They got some fit players like Barone and Griffith in the middle of that Penn State midfield. Like Barone just controlling the game.
Sinclair is in. Sinclair marked by Opari. He'll turn. And Zeke Harris, safety first, clearance.
Zeke Harris, a great competitor. He's talking to his other teammates. He usually likes to come forward. He's had to defend today. He's had a very good game for Michigan.
And Zeke Harris talking to Lepic, who's come off the bench, along with McAtee.
This is Shane Campbell, I believe, coming in. He's come on for Daniel Burnham, who gave great work.
What a throw in. Grinwis has to come out, and Grinwis able to handle it.
All over the area. The long throw in from Shane Campbell. Burnham had been on there. Penn State's depth. That's going to be the key. How does Michigan handle that?
You can hear Shaka say, "Go on, Colin." Howard, tough ball, kept alive by Howard. Here comes Barone. He's got Klingenberg on the right side. Sinclair and Legister in front of him. Barone wants it back. Klingenberg tucks back in the middle. He will drop it. Owen Griffith. Now Campbell back to Griffith. Pereira stops, turns around. Murphy, no whistle. Advantage, oh my, Lewin. What an ambitious try, and he almost snuck one in.
That was shut by, I think, Tyler Arnone at the top of the box coming in on that. Gets knocked, the player gets knocked down, no call, and Wolverton has to be extended. A little bit anxious moment for Penn State.
Murphy was knocked down. He would have gotten the call had it not fallen to Arnone, number 7. And Arnone, who Shaka Daly said perhaps the most consistent player through the first 8 games for Michigan.
Ref, the foul referee.
There's another consistent player for his 4-year career, Brian Klemzak. He's the captain of that defense, and that's a very good defense, especially when they have Lewin. But Lepic has done a really good job in the 15-20 minutes. He's gone in at left back. Opari, Harris in front of Grinwis. The problem that Michigan's had is they've not had enough control in the midfield.
Howard's throw in finds Legister. Lucier will drop it to McAtee. McAtee, can you give it back to Lucier? As you can hear Shaka Daly telling Colin to wait for him.
Good solid defending by Brian Klemzak, the captain.
Klemzak with Sinclair. Barone. Pari sends it right back where it came from. Silent, slanted ball to Minvu. Quick touch to Barone. Penn State, Legister squares it. Arnone gets a piece of it. Vu wins it. Switches it right to Klingenberg. Klingenberg is in the 18. Klingenberg with the cross. Sinclair just needed to run into it.
Get up, boys, get up.
How about the work of Klingenberg?
Very, very dangerous. When he can isolate 1v1, he can beat defenders with frequency.
Number 20, now Campbell, the right back. Keel Howard. Very calm and poised. He did start the game, but went to the bench, came on, scored the goal, and now has done a solid job at left back. Captain Klemzak. He's made a 50-yard run.
Very sensible play. Makes the run and gets back in.
Arnone over the top to Lucier. Can Lucier turn? He'll drop it to Pereira. Kept on the ground, and Wolverton is there.
Good intelligent play by Lucier. Didn't try to force it. Plays it to Pereira, who could be dangerous from that distance.
Don't forget the journey right after soccer. Big Ten Football 2012, presented by Best Buy.
Not playing the ball, ref. Come on.
Arnone. Brown has stayed in. Oh, wow, they'll call that foul on Opare.
Not sure I saw that one being on Opare. It looked to me like Sinclair had his hands all over Opare. They're not protesting that hard, but I think that's a questionable call. It looked to me like Sinclair had shoved off well before there was any contact initiated by Opare, and Shaka Daly, I think, agrees with me.
Legister with Seiler and Min Vu, the Penn State Nittany Lions, had several dangerous free kick opportunities. Do not believe this is a shooting opportunity, but Min Vu looking at options, a lot more white jerseys than blue at the moment. Sinclair testing that line. Over the top, Sinclair is in! Sinclair, another save by Gridwis! Cleared off the line by Michigan, Tyler Arnone!
What a replay. Clever little chip by Min Vu, taken by Sinclair, blocked by Gridwis, and the play of the day by Tyler Arnone. No wonder Shaka Daly raves about this guy. Tremendous play by Arnone, clearing it off the line with his head.
And Adam Gridwis, double-digit saves for the Michigan Wolverines, as Bob Warming now will bring out Sinclair and Legister and bring Cheney and Cardona back in here. 50 seconds approximately left here in the first overtime. Penn State trying to get one on the road here. Gridwis will punch it out. Min Vu again. Cleared by Michigan. 39 seconds to survive the first overtime.
Adam Gridwis ready for whatever Penn State's going to throw at him. He has been extraordinary today.
Howard. Cheney. In the final 9 seconds, Lucier. He's got 5 seconds to try to put one on frame, but he won't. And after 100 minutes of Big Ten men's soccer, we will have some more. Penn State almost won it, though, Richard.
Boy, they came ever so close. This is a great restart. Little chip by Min Vu, taken by Sinclair, denied by Gridwis. Great play by Arnone.
They have achieved perfection in the regular season again.
Breaks the tackle, got a first down, to the house, touchdown! Michigan State has won! And that's it! Nebraska knocks off the number 13 team in the land!
This is BTN.
And the second overtime just underway here at the University of Michigan Soccer Complex. And once again, Michigan forced to go to overtime. Can they get another miracle like they got from Mr. Brown last week against the Buckeyes? Cardona has other plans for Penn State.
Bob Warming's tactic just to wear down that Michigan defense, sending it forwards in waves. Combinations up front. Legister and Sinclair replaced by Cheney and Cardona. Back you come with Legister and Sinclair, hoping to break down the Michigan defense, which is obviously tired by now.